clean stuff to beauty there. If there's not a lot of skill, there's certainly plenty of action in these bouts. And Cooper's the winner on points.
Well, you can take him up later if you like about the not a lot of skill there. I suppose you'd still along with.
I just noticed.
Anyway, a hard and deadly puncher in the ring, this fellow, but modest and gentle outside it, but certainly not foolish. And I want to just give you a quote, Henry, that I've only heard once before, and I don't know whether you know who. I'd never heard it before from anyone else, but it said that you refuse to believe in the tales of Hoffman. Well, I'll tell you who said that. He's your manager, who's guided you to British, Empire, and European championships, one of the great characters of boxing, Jim Wicks. You're in trouble afterwards, Jim, but let's forget about it for now. Tell me, how did the tales of Hoffman and the opera get mixed up with boxing?
Well, I'll tell you, the late J.T. Howells recommended them to come to me. They came around before they did their national service, you see. So I said, have you done your national service? They said, no. I said, we'll go in as amateurs, and then if you fancy turning pro, come and see me. Well, that was the mistake I made. Because,
why, didn't you sign them up there and then?
Well, I thought, you know, being honest like yourself, I thought I'd give them a chance to make up their mind whether they wanted to turn or not. Anyhow, they had a lot of principle, and when they did their service, they came back. But in the meantime, all the managers in England were going down to their army camp, promising them the crown jewels if they signed up with them, and telling them the tales of Hoffman, and anyhow, they had a lot of principle. When they finished, they came round to me.
Now
and we signed up on television.
Now you know what the tales of Hoffman mean in that parlance. What about the early days with them, Jim? Did you have any problems with them being twins?
Twins, they used to make it so awkward. They'd wear the same ties, the same shoes, the same suits. I used to be talking to Henry for George, and George for them. For a fortnight I was doing it. And, of course, he's got a little bit taller since, you know. Now I can tell him in his sleep, but I couldn't in those days.
Thank you, Jim. Well, out of the army, Henry Cooper did three things. He went back to the Council House at Bellingham, went back to being a plasterer, and turned professional boxer. And then came the night of his first professional fight. That was at Haringey Arena on the 14th of September, 1954. Can you remember how you felt that night of your first pro fight, Henry?
Well, naturally, you know, on edge, and naturally you want to, you know, do good, and you was hoping that you was going to do good, you know, but all very nervous, I suppose, you know. Yeah.
Was that, or was it later in your career, I believe, that you composed a special prayer of your own?
Oh, I can't remember that. You'll have to refresh my memory over that, Ivan.
I haven't got a note of the prayer, but I'll pray that I remember it, or someone will tell me later, but somebody did tell me earlier about that.